with Phantasmal Image and Snapcaster Mage, a couple Solemn, just a spray of different creatures in the deck. We got 3 Wormcoil, 3 Grave Titan, 3 Snapcaster, 2 Image, 2 Solemn, and a Sphinx. So 7 6-drops. 3 Ponder, 2 Think Twice, 2 Disperse, which is a card that I thought some people might be playing. Having a bounce spell is pretty effective. 3 Go for the Throat, 3 Black Sun Zenith, 4 Mana Leak, 1 Ratchet Bomb, 2 Dismember, 1 Dissipate.
Yeah, it's weird. You speak of Disperse. I'm so used to seeing like Into the Royal, you know?
I miss Into the Royal already.
There's
It's
no good bounce spell right
day
now.
Day 1 of the new standard format, and I miss Into the Royal. I got a little greedy playing just a catch-all bounce spell for 4 mana draw card.
All right, here we go. So it looks like Kyle McDaniel took the first game with his Burning Vengeance deck. I talked to Kyle earlier, and he is X0-2. He's picked up 2 draws on the day, so his deck
makes sense.
Is very strong, but it takes time to win. You will establish a winning position, but you have to kill their creatures, etc.
Yeah.
It can take a while. There's a Think Twice.
A really forcefully played Think Twice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's trying to play quickly. All right,
yeah.
Think Twice gets Mana Leaked. I think that's Burning Vengeance right there. Might be coming down. Here it comes. Burning Vengeance.
Think Twice got Mana Leaked?
And I think some judge or bystander picks up Burning Vengeance. If you don't know what that card does, it's okay. It's brand new. It's R2 for an enchantment. Whenever you flashback a card, deal 2 damage somewhere, which is really powerful when you think about it. All your flashback cards are just have extra shocks attached.
His Think Twice right now, he's going to draw a card and deal 2 to something. It's Electrolyze. It can't be sprayed, but... Snapcaster Mage comes with a cantrip or like an extra spell and 2 damage.
Sure. Yeah, it seems incredible to me. I really like the idea of Burning Vengeance deck. And once again, I thought I would have to wait until the whole set was out. But maybe he's got something else going on. So
Think Twice gets Mana Leaked?
Think Twice gets Mana Leaked again on the flashback, but still deals the 2 damage. It's not part of the spell. It's just part of casting it. It triggers off Burning Vengeance. All right. 1, 2.
It's the Desperate Ravings.
Desperate Ravings. I love that card.
Really? I don't like it. I mean, in this deck, it seems awesome.
No, I mean, I love that it exists. Like, I mean, I tried playing with it. I was like, oh, this is kind of sketchy. But I guess if there's a deck to play it, this is the one to play it in.
I mean, after you flash it back, you are up 1 card.
Yeah, it's the same thing as Think Twice, except you see extra cards, basically.
Yeah.
And discard Scalding Tarn. Obviously, the problem is you don't get to control what you discard, so it's pretty high variance. But when you're trying to flash cards back, you don't have a lot of options. You get kind of turn to it. Not Scalding Tarn. What was the...
Sulfur Falls.
Sulfur Falls, sorry.
I know what you said. I should have stopped you.
Yeah, I mean... Looks a lot like Scalding Tarn. I don't know what to say. Looks like I'm going to go for some more Desperate Ravings. One of the... I posted a deck in my article this week that, just for fun, that was a deck that had like Burning Inquiries and Desperate Ravings and stuff like that, along with Wrap in Flames, or Past in Flames. It's just interesting to have all these red draw spells around in the past couple of years, and I was curious if there would be a place where they'd be used. Maybe this is one such place. Surgical Extraction. Now that is certainly brutal in this matchup. That's a breaker.
Getting rid of those Ravens.
Reveals his hand.
What is... Oh, that's the shuffle cards back into your library with flashback? Memories
Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most notable, Kyle has 2 main deck Ancient Grudges, which is pretty powerful. Once again, you don't really have a lot of good flashback cards yet. You just kind of play the ones that there are. So
that's very true.
You know, main deck Ancient Grudges, maybe you get there sometimes, maybe you don't. There's a lot of main deck artifacts.
All right, so Kyle gets extracted, but he's going to take his 5th turn now. And Gary is still missing a lot of land drops. Oh no, that was all on Kyle's turn. That card's an instant, isn't it?
Surgical Extraction?
No, the...
Desperate Ravings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an instant. Yeah, it's an instant. But I think after Gary...
Mana Leaked?
Mana Leaked, he wanted to do it in main base. Didn't really work out the way he wanted it to, but...
Well, it did. Surgical Extraction could have ruined him. Because Gary would pick up prior... I guess he could have response play the card. I can't really that doesn't work that way.
I mean, you can hold priority after a spell of yours resolves. So Gary taps 2. Here comes. Is that Ratchet Bomb?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a Ratchet Bomb. Which,
assuming it's going to try to get to 3.
Yep, trying to get to 3, kill off that Burning Vengeance. Tap 2, Mana Leaks. Yeah, we know Gary already spent 2 Mana Leaks. Let's see if he's out a 3rd here. Or 3rd counter spell in general. Doesn't have any negates. Oh, there's another Mana Leak.
Yeah, so there's 3 Mana Leaks down.
But Kyle Mana Leaks back. He does not want that Ratchet Bomb ticking up toward that Vengeance. And Burning Vengeance number 2, that could be a good reason why.
Yeah, now... the Think Tyson the side... No, that one got countered. So yeah, he still needs to dig for some flashback cards, and he doesn't have many left in his deck.
Right. Yeah, his deck is just, about 1 or 2 good flashback cards short, but right now it's...
Yeah, he needs to find Think Twices. I guess Snapcaster Mage also does it.
Alright, there's Solemn, which will result for Gary Hummel. The board is 2 Burning Vengeances versus a Solemn Simulacrum. Rug Vengeance versus Blue-Black Control. Those colorless lands you see on Gary Hummel's side of the board are Ghost Quarters.
Yeah, the more I'm seeing these rare lands, the more I can see Ghost Quarter being good. I didn't think it was going to be that valuable, but these lands are super, super powerful, especially the one that makes a spirit every turn.
Yeah, everyone's been playing that one, and I think that's going to be a big player in this format. Land comes down for Kyle McDaniel.
Alright, so let's see if Gary can play one of his big Windmill Slam spells. Alright, attacks for 2. Kyle goes to 18.
Solemn gets in. Kyle down to 18. 18 up.
Alright, just passes. Not going to be playing any Titan-esque creature this turn. Forbidden Alchemy comes down. He does have lands to flash that back, doesn't he? No? He doesn't have any way to flash it back? Besides Snapcaster Mage off.
I think it's the route a lot of people are going. I guess when you're a 3-color deck, playing up, splashing the black is a little tricky.
Yeah. Man, I bet this set's going to be so much fun to play in block. I mean, once all the hype about, once States gets done, I'm actually going to look into block because it's one of my favorite formats. And I think if you ever want to get into Magic Online, one of the best ways to do it is to get into that constructive format. It's cheaper than most, and you can build up your collection from there. And I think this might be a really interesting block format.
I agree. I think Time Spiral Block was one of the best block formats, and this reminds me a lot of Time Spiral Block.
Yeah.
Liliana's going to be very powerful, but obviously we don't know what the other 2 sets are though either, so who knows?
Well, I actually mean getting into single set block.
Yeah. No, I remember. Single set block is always fun. It's weird, but can be fun.
It's very grindy.
Gary's shuffling his cards around.
All right, Solemn puts Kyle down to 16. I just like how those Desperate Ravens are just sitting there taunting him, wanting to be flashed back, but...
Sitting off to the side, yeah.
He taunts himself with them.
Yeah, he really needed those Desperate Ravens. He does have the 2 Burning Vengeance, but... he doesn't have a lot of Think Twice. Can't flash back Forbidden Alchemy. If he draws Snapcaster Mage, he's in good shape.
Ooh, Snapcaster Mage, that's going to be rough. He's going to be able to, like we talked about earlier, he's going to be able to go and flash back those Surgical Extractions.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting interaction that we'll see more of. Surgical Extraction, not a super popular card, but post Snapcaster Mage, you might see a lot more play. And there's just that happening right there. Snapcaster Mage, Surgical Extraction, and Kyle's going to use Memory's Journey to shuffle it away.
Saucy! That's pretty sweet.
He'll play Croson Reclamation in the past, and this is, a very similar effect. And when it deals 4 damage when you flashback it, also seems pretty reasonable.
Wait, so you're saying I get to do something and deal 4 damage?
Yeah, I mean, something can be in quotation marks, but in this case, it actually is doing something. Shuffling back that surgical extraction. If you don't know what that card does, and once again, you know, it's pretty new. Memory's Journey is blue 1. You shuffle up to 3 cards in a graveyard into their owner's library. Then it flashbacks for a single green.
Yeah.
So it kind of fits into the rug plan perfectly. Most of the good flashback cards fit into the rug plan. Exception being Desperate Ravings. Or sorry, not just Desperate Ravings. Forbidden Alchemy, which requires the black to flashback. A little different story. So... Alright. Kyle untaps. Board for Gary Hummel is Snapcaster Mage, Psalms of Lacrum versus Kyle's 2 Burning Vengeance.
Kyle's down to a very low number of cards, and now he's hitting all his land drops.
And he needs to find some flashback action.
Here's the 3rd Burning Vengeance.
It's a good time to be Burning Vengeance, but... Oh, there's Flash Freeze, okay. That one may not happen.
Ooh, we're going to fight over it.
So what's that in Kyle's hand?
He's got a Snapcaster Mage and an Ancient Grudge and something. Or no, he's got the Pyre, kill a guy, remove X cards from a graveyard. Yeah, the Snapcaster Mage. I'm curious why he wouldn't just Mana Leak deal 4.
Well, he doesn't have the Pyre. It's not in his deck. The Pyre's not in his deck. He doesn't have that.
No, then I don't know what's in his
I
hand.
mean, it could be Incinerate.
Looks like a weird Incinerate.
Could be an Ancient Grudge.
I can't tell you then, but I do know he has a Snapcaster Mage, and he could have leaked the Flash Freeze, and he chose not to.
I think at this point, Kyle is pretty concerned about just getting flashback cards online. Like, he just needs to chain into a bunch of them, and Desperate Ravings was going to help him out, but without the Desperate Ravings around...
Well, I'm curious is because he could have Mana Leaked, and it resulted he would have had 3 Burning Vengeance to play. His opponent would have been at 14, and his opponent wouldn't be able to attack him with Solemns anymore. I kind of like that line.
Kyle looking over his graveyard. Finally puts those Desperate Ravings out of the way as to not interfere. Lays out his graveyard completely so he knows what's there, knows what his options are. Wyatt on Twitter says it's Ancient Grudge, so might very well be, but no targets currently.
Well,
I mean, there's a Solemn, but
you don't, you're not going to flash it back.
Yeah, you can't flash it back.
Wonder why he would keep that card in this matchup.
I mean, it's possible he doesn't know what Gary has access to in his deck.
True.
I mean, the Ratchet Bomb is certainly a reasonable one to kill that Kyle seems pretty worried about.
All right, Snapcaster Solemn comes in. Kyle's thinking of shuffling some cards, maybe killing both of his creatures.
Surgical Extraction for Gary Hummel.
Alright, this can be just responded by shuffling and...
Wow, yeah. Memory's Journey is pretty interesting. Counters Surgical Extraction. Yeah, counters it pretty nicely. Alright, so he targets Forbidden Alchemy, but he just lets it resolve. Kyle knows he can't flash it back, and there's only 1 left in his deck. Kyle's going to take advantage of that.
All right. So it resolves, and...
All right, he's going to take out that last Desperate Raving. Or, sorry, keep calling it Desperate Ravings. Forbidden Alchemy. Ryan Rowland, Starts the Games Grinder, asks if the Rug Vengeance deck is playing Dream Twist. No, it is not. Interesting card. It does fuel your Burning Vengeance, but it doesn't do much else, which is, I think, is the problem with that.
Yeah, and without, like, Surgical Extraction really hurts it, but I think those Desperate Ravens can really let you fuel through your deck.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Like, draw 2, discard 1.
To find all those flashback spells.
I mean, I know you kind of have to cross your fingers when you cast one on turn 2, but...
Just looks like Kyle has a ridiculous amount of lands in play.
Taps 3 flashbacks, think twice. Gonna fire off 4 points of damage. All to Gary's head. Gary's will take 4, dropping to 14. And of course, Cal picks up a card. Cal plays a land.
Alright. So Gary really needs to find a big threat pretty soon.
Yeah,
here.
a Worm Coil Engine. Although I would
Grave
get
Titan.
Ancient Grudged, but
Grave Titan would be good. I still don't understand Kyle's line of not getting that third Burning Vengeance into play. Especially being short so many flashback spells.
yeah, I mean that. Well, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. See what he ends up using that for. Another Snapcaster Mage comes down for Gary Hummel. Perhaps going to Surgical Extraction again. Just going to keep tearing Kyle McDaniel's deck apart. And taps 2, Flash Freezes. And in response, once again, Memory's Journey. Shuffle that Flash Freeze back in.
Wait, what? How does that work?
So he targeted with Snapcaster Mage, and then you just...
Oh, yeah, to Surgical Extraction. Yeah, shuffle back in. Never mind.
Well, he Snapcaster Mage Flash Freeze, and in response, yeah. Should shuffle it back in. Deal you 4 with my Burning Vengeance. That'll drop Gary Hummel down to 10 life. Still has to find a way to deal those last 10 points of damage, though. And as Kyle McDaniel is looking at the board, there's lots of creatures hanging out there, too. Draws. Alright, so Kyle McDaniel has 3 Burning Vengeance in play now.
Yeah, that's... I mean, not a ton of cards that with flashback left in his deck, but it only takes a couple of to kill him, so...
Yeah. I think Gary Hummel should be... I guess Kyle killed some of the creatures, never mind, with his Burning Vengeance.
Yep.
So with the 3 Burning Vengeances out, it means Kyle has to flash back 3 cards, or if he can just hit it, get in one hit with Snapcaster Mage, which he has in his hand. Alright, end step. Going to go for... Oh my.
Fireball you.
Whew. Flashback Fireball. Wait till it flashes
Pretty
that one
saucy.
back. So when you flash that one back, you pay 3 to flash it back, but it just
And he
adds
already
6
deals
extra
6.
damage.
Yeah, it does 6 extra damage.
This deck is sweet.
This is pretty interesting. This looks fun. This looks like a sweet block deck, doesn't it?
For block. I mean, it reminds me of Slide, or Lightning Rift, just a very powerful linear you can play and block constructed. But also that will be in standard, I think, once all the sets are out. Just needs... once again, I think it's a couple short, but...
Yeah.
I like what Kyle McDaniel's doing, but, I'm sure he'd like to have some more options, too.
I mean, that's why they open. Everyone's having fun, playing interesting things.
Gary serves in for 2. Kyle drops to 10. Gary Hummel sitting at only 11 life.
All right. Let's see if how many Snapcaster Mages are in Kyle's hand.
I think he just drew another one.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Might be time to do some Snapcasting. Whew.
Shoot your...
I mean, if Kyle taps out, he can go for lethal, but I don't think he's going to. Alright, so Kyle casts Snapcaster Mage.
No, if Snapcaster resolves, he just has lethal.
Right, because you can't counter Burning Vengeance abilities. If they trigger, they trigger. So if it resolves, he just targets, whatever.
Mana Leak, flashback your thing for 0, counter it with Mana Leak.
Right. Flashes the spec. Yeah, he does exactly that. Flashes the fireball back, dealing 6 to Gary. And then plays another Snapcaster Mage.
Wait, why would he have done that? Why wouldn't he just actually flashed it back?
There's a Dissipate.
I don't understand what's going on.
Brad Kirk on Twitter points out this Rug Vengeance deck reminds him of the Pyromancer Ascension decks. I can certainly see that. I mean, you play for a much longer game, but you do kind of just get your enchantment online.
Is it just me, or did he punt there?
It seems like Kyle could have won. I mean, I'm not sure exactly on the specifics. It's a little blurry, and
Yeah, you just make it mana leak, and you deal him 0 and mana leak your own spell and deal 12 damage.
That is exactly what I would have done. Assuming that everything is as we think it is. By Gary Hummel sitting at 5 life. Kyle just has to flash back any one card, and he'll win the game.
Yep, even if the card says you lose the game, he wins the game.
Yep. Lose 20 life? Alright, flashback that one. You think it's got a flashback cost of 0. Alright. And Gary passes back. There's Incinerate targeting your head. Gary Hummel is going to Snapcaster Mage in response, targeting Dissipate. Dissipates the Incinerate, and Cal has a Snapcaster Mage in response. That should do it.
Yeah.
Mana Leak 6 to you. That's it. Kyle McDaniel's Rug Vengeance deck advances.
Kyle takes it.
Kyle's still undefeated.
No way. This is undefeated?
Well, he's XO2.
Oh, yeah, XO2.
He's got 2 draws. But he has not lost the match.
He needs 2-0 and he makes it. Jeez.
2-0 wins. Rug Vengeance in top 8. Look at how happy he's around. You gotta be happy. You're winning with